It's the Brad and John Show.
The Brad and John Show. Today's date is the 29th of October. It is a Wednesday, and this is the C Block and a little bit of technical housekeeping. First off, I'm sorry we couldn't do the interview, John. I can't get this damn thing to work. Ever since I upgraded my phone, it's just, it used to work flawlessly. I used to plug directly into my phone to be able to put people on the air, and that went bad when I upgraded my software on my iPhone. And now the stupid Bluetooth device I have does not work. It's flashing right now. It says it's ready to be connect. What is it? I'm ready to be connected. Ready to pair. And yet when I pull up my phone, it won't pair. So no matter what I do, I can't get it to work. So I apologize on that. So that's issue number one. Issue number two is this new system where you're hearing the mix minus. Now you make fun of this. Is this better for you now?
Oh, my gosh. First of all, you come in clear as a bell, and my eardrums are not blown out when you play any drop.
Okay, good to hear. Okay, I heard, there's crazy things that cross my mind as I go through my day. I heard an interesting quote yesterday from Coco Chanel. Are you familiar with this quote from Coco Chanel?
I haven't heard this quote. I know who Coco Chanel is, but I don't know the quote.
Okay, the quote is, let me bring it up to give it perfectly, so I'm going to read it as it stands. This is Coco Chanel, who was the woman behind Chanel, the perfume and all the other things.
Chanel number 5.
Right. Before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'd like to say that to Karoline Leavitt at the beach. I did find those pictures, Brad.
Now, do you find that shall we say inappropriate or inappropriate for
No, I find it fantastic. And imagine the women that criticize what she looks like or what she's wearing. All I'll say because I don't want to derail us from Coco Chanel, all I'll say is thick thighs save lives.
Well, she's holding her kid up in the air, and it's to me it's a touching moment where
I don't care about her holding the kid.
But is that the picture you saw where she's holding her kid up in the air?
Yeah, I saw her in profile. Yeah, I usually like it a little bigger in profile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Okay,
but yeah. I'd make an exception for her.
Okay, back to the Coco Chanel quote. Before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off. Now, I've already done that. When I left the house this morning to come to the studio, I took my nose ring out. So you don't.
Oh, I thought it was your monocle. I like how you wear a monocle. For folks who don't know, Brad wears a monocle over his non-functioning eye, and I think it's a throwback to the old days. I love it.
My eye, it was a week ago today that I poked myself in the eye with a cable tie, of all things, a zip tie, and I ended up going the next day to the doctor, and my eye still has not healed, so I think I need to go back to the doctor.
Yeah, you probably do. Now, Brad, your nose ring, is it like a traditional piercing, or is it one of the things that you put in the head of a dairy cow?
John, I made fun of that. I don't have a nose ring. Do you get that? Does that make any sense to you?
What, having a nose ring?
Yes.
No. I mean, come on. I was looking for a way to possibly answer that the question could be yes. But no, I mean, I think if you do, you're making a statement. I don't know what the statement is, but you're clearly trying to make some sort of a statement.
I don't, that's the one I don't get. Women have worn pierced ears for a long time. I get that. That's not that big of a deal, to the point where, and it's one of those things where you can take the piercings in and out. You know what I mean? You can wear pierced earrings. You cannot wear pierced earrings.
I know. It's like you and your Prince Albert.
Right. By the way, I called up a tobacco store the other day and I said, do you have Prince Albert in a can?
There you go. Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
Anyway, so the point being is, I don't get that. That's gotta hurt. Don't you think that's gotta hurt?
You mean having the thing that looks like a bull ring?
Yes, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the point is to say that I've withstood the pain. Like I've known women with, tongue rings, and then I shouldn't go more than that. But women can get pierced below the waist, and I think part of it is just, I'm not even going to wait. I think for some women, it's an attention-seeking conversation thing to be like, hey, I have my what pierced? And then you're supposed to be intrigued by that.
Okay, here's from Brad Practical, okay? Anytime you pierce the skin, you are subject to infection. I mean,
absolutely, you are. Staph infection, anything.
Exactly. My father died of staph infection. If you remember way back when, there's a Memorial Highway when you drive 364 between Maryland Heights and St. Charles County. That's the Buzz Westfall Memorial Highway. And what was Buzz Westfall, John?
St. Louis County executive for not decades, but for a long time.
And what did he die of?
I'm guessing based on context clues, he died of a staph infection.
Yes, he was having a hip replacement, and he died of a staph infection.
I didn't even remember that, Brad.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for reminding me of that.
And at a relatively young age, I think he was like in his late 40s, early 50s or something like that. And even to the point where I have some health issues. As a matter of fact, I have an appointment next month with a doctor who I've been seeing for about a year and a half, and it's getting to the point where I have to make a decision on something. And he's already consulted me. He said, okay, this could be, he's giving me like this is problem. This is bad thing number 1, bad thing number 2, bad thing number 3, bad thing number 4, bad thing number 5. If you are okay with all those 5 bad things, we'll move on down the road. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. You know what I mean? You
don't know if you want to be laid up in a hospital and end up getting sepsis or a staph infection, right? Or
yes,
MRSA.
Right. And to the point where I personally know people who've been in the hospital. Matter of fact, at one point in time, someone that you and I both know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Got a bad infection from being in the hospital for a surgery. So I know we're talking differences between surgery and piercings, but
infection, and piercing.
Anytime you pierce the skin, it's an inroad for infection, no matter what it is. And that's the reason why when you get like an injection or you get, you get your blood drawn, first off, what they do is they cleanse the area with alcohol, which gets rid of all the germs and stuff like that. So they're not pushing any of the germs on the outside in when they put the needle in. And second off, then they put the cotton ball on it, they stick the Band-Aid on it, and they tell you, keep it on for a day until it heals over. Why is that? So you don't get an infection. I just don't understand it. There's certain things in my life.
Now, Brad, in your prostate conversations, have you considered polling your girlfriends to see if they're concerned about like a decrease in volume or anything? I mean, volume level in your eardrums.
The interesting thing about that is, the crazy thing is, John is referring to the fact that matter of fact, it's going back to, God, it's going to be 2 months now. It's going to be
now. A lot has happened in 2 months on that front, hasn't it?
The whole story about me going to the Dave Sinclair PSA test, the prostate cancer screening test every single year, which I've done every single year, and normally I get the letter in the mail. By the way, you got your letter, right? You got your good
I
shape,
did,
right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and I'll thank you again for going to do that. I know it was traumatic for you to go down to South County.
It's disgusting. When I have to go south of Highway 40
to see how the Hoosiers live and stuff like that. But
go ahead.
But I think it was good for you. But anyway, I got my letter. I didn't get a letter. I got a phone call about a week and a half later. Hey, you need to come in and see us. I still have more tests. Matter of fact, I got a call yesterday from the one company that essentially, that when I sent in, this is like stuff I have to do here in my bathroom, and I don't want to get in much detail. But I send in samples, and there was a little thing. There's 2 samples I had to send in, and there's labels that I had to put on each of the 2 samples, and I forgot to put the label on the one sample. So the lady calls me and says, well, we'll probably have a problem with this, but I can do this over the phone. You can answer me questions. You can tell me your date of birth and blah, 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 blah. So I still don't have the results back on that one. But
I called her, actually, and I said, it's no problem, because sometimes Brad mislabels the clips after we get off the air. So I said, listen, sweetie, you're in good company.
Yeah, right.
And Brad, did you ever forgive Dave Sinclair for using a blood test now instead of the manual test?
Well,
I know that you liked a lot of the cute nurses that used to work down there.
No. Unfortunately, I've had the manual test. That's when my test came back not so hot. I had the manual test, and don't get me going on this. I've had the MRI and all sorts of stuff like that. And I met with another doctor. Was it 2 weeks ago?
And that stands for manual rectum inspection, right? Brad, how have we gone this long? There's only 4 minutes left. I was hoping that you would point out that Cindy Cristofanelli and Brad Hildebrand are correct about Steve Ehlmann.
What?
You want to talk about it?
What? What are you talking about?
Steve Ehlmann announced that he's running for re-election.
We talked about that last week, John.
Yes, we did.
We talked about that last week.
Did, Brad, and we beat it to death, didn't we?
Cindy was right. See, you made fun of Cindy, but she was right. And
it's funny. I didn't make fun of her, but I guess we know with 100% certainty that Cindy Cristofanelli, Brad, pardon the expression, but she's kind of your deep throat, right?
She knew the whole scoop. She knew the whole
Do
scoop.
you meet her in the parking garage, Brad?
No, she's got the scoop because, she once again, she was on the St. Charles County
and everybody,
Republican
if
Committee.
you've known somebody that's ever served on a county central committee, boy, they are the sharpest knives in the drawer.
Well,
the people that serve on a party committee, you have to go through a rigorous vetting process, right, Brad?
I've known Cindy for probably 20 years. Okay, Cindy has been a source of a lot of information for me because she's like Miss Political Guru. She
seems wonderful. I've never met her, but she seems wonderful.
Well,
we know her son.
Yeah, her son was a state rep for 8 years, and he ran for. See, here's the interesting thing: he lost in the state senate thing against Adam Schnelting, and the problem was that the whole problem was, if you know the whole situation, this is how it got bad. That Phil Cristofanelli was driving along I-70 going on Jefferson City, and he was in the left lane doing 70 miles an hour. Matter of fact, his cruise control set to 70, and a guy came up behind him and honked his horn and flashed his lights and went around him, and then actually tried to pit maneuver him into the median. And Phil said, "Who was that?" And he got down to Jefferson City, and he realized the car that was right there, and it was in the parking space next to him. And he looked closely, and it had the R, whatever the district was at the time, the R, with the state rep. It turned out to be Adam Schnelting. So that was the shot across the bow. So Phil said, "I won't stand for this. I'm going to run against him for state senate because we can't have someone recklessly driving down I-70, running people off the road." And then he loses, unfortunately. And what does he do? He tries to get this bill passed where if you're not doing 150 miles an hour in the left lane and someone tries to overtake you in their Porsche 911 GT3, you have to yield that left lane to them, even though there's already a state law that says keep right except for passing. We have to have a new law. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what happened. And, Schnelting was looking for a good nonprofit to partner with. And I had gone to a boring leads group that smelled like mothballs and desperation. And a bunch of desperate people were handing out cheaply printed business cards. And then I thought, wow, I could set him up with a nonprofit. And it turns out he texted me back. He's like, "I know them. They got a ton of money. They don't help us. I want nothing to do with them."
Well, I will, at the end of the show, I will say this, John. I am still running for county executive, and I'm doubling down. I've already said that we will, if I'm elected county executive, we will have no sales tax, no property tax, no utility tax, no real estate tax. I'm taking it one step further, and I'm reversing how things are done. First off, I'm saying if you are a church, you are not-for-profit, and you don't pay any real estate or personal property taxes, we are going to now require you to pay real estate and personal property taxes times 5. We could 10x it, but we're just going to 5x.
That's fair, but let's start with 5, and then maybe after 2 years make it 10x.
Right, and then all the new apartment complexes have been built in St. Charles County. You elect me to be the county executive. You know what the rent you'll pay every month is, John? You know what the rent is?
$100.
No. You know what the rent is, John?
Oh, 0.0.
Free rent in all St. Charles County apartment buildings. I'm not talking about the ones.
And why we're doing that? Because we're selling all the parks.
Right. We sell all the parks off. And more importantly, like in Klondike Park, we would zone that for multifamily, and we would build apartment complexes down there. Plus, we'd have to, with the new subdivision kind of thing, you have to have a little mixed thing. We'd have some lots. We'd have 10th-acre lots where you could build houses on there. We could cram, 2,000 or 3,000 new residents into Klondike Park. And
wait, are you saying that the guys that originally founded Klondike Park, you want to cram something into their sinkholes?
No. And then, most importantly, John, how are we going to raise the money? How are we going to raise money?
How are we going to do that?
How are we going to raise money if we don't have real estate taxes, our property taxes, utility taxes, our sales tax? Simple. We're going to pass an ordinance that every yard sign has to get a permit which costs $100. So when people run for public office and they put out yard signs, each yard sign has to be permitted, and each yard sign is a $100 permit fee. And here's how we totally totally close the gap.
Yep, go on at 8:01, Brad. Let's go.
Instead of the politicians, the elected politicians, getting paid, they have to pay for their position. And it starts at $1,000 a day. Every single day, if you're a state rep, that would be on the state. But if you're in county,
we got producer Christy here. She's got yard sign suck queued up. Brad, let's hit it.
Tricia Burns, she may not want to run for county collector because she will owe the county $1,000 every day that she's in office. That's
only $365,000 a year. That's a pittance, Brad.
Yeah, but you multiply that like Mike Ehlmann would have to pay $100,000.
Hey, I'm going to get
$1,000
fined if I don't get out to St. Charles by about 8:25. So I got to run, Brad.
So I know I'm going to win and vote for Brad. My website.
Yes, Brad. Fantastic. I'm with you.
My website is coming soon. Brad for County Executive.